Dare to Struggle and Homeless Liberation Connecticut gathered here outside of the Department of Social Services to deliver a message to state lawmakers that welfare programs should be expanded upon, not suffering more cuts.
When the state makes cuts to staff, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
Protesters made their voices heard outside of the Department of Social Services Monday morning.
Stand up, fight back!
DSS estimates 36,000 people in Connecticut could lose access to federal government food assistance. Kimmy Reindl believes these cuts are wrong.
SNAP and Medicaid, these are programs that people rely on to survive. So we're here to mob up and make sure that these cuts are fought against.
On November 2nd, SNAP work requirements changed. Now adults age 18 to 64 who don't live with a child under 14 and are able to work must meet strict new requirements or risk losing benefits. That means working, volunteering, or taking part in job training for at least 80 hours every month.
These requirements are hitting people who oftentimes cannot work, and they're the most vulnerable people in society. So people like the homeless, veterans, parents, the elderly.
Some have already lost or seen a reduction in their benefits, and more of the same is expected coming into the new year until March 31st.
On a day when I was supposed to receive my food stamps, only to find out my balance was zero.
We also want to demand that people continue to have access to SNAP, that these cuts stop, but also that these programs are expanded, because even the programs before the cuts were inadequate.
During the government shutdown, a bipartisan emergency response fund was passed, which allowed Governor Lamont to allocate funds to areas of need when the legislature was off session. On December 18th, the governor allocated those funds, and more than $24 million is headed to food banks and pantries to help increase their capacity to serve those losing benefits.
We met up with people who are waiting in line at places like soup kitchens and food pantries, and what we were seeing were the length of the lines were like no one's ever seen before.
Protesters believe the allocated funds are a temporary solution, but they hope more people join them to permanently fight against hunger.
We want to invite anyone who cares about their neighbors, cares about other people, to join us, including people who work here at this DSS office.
Now, Reindl said that this is just the first protest of many. They hope that this is a stepping on point for many others to kind of join on the bandwagon for what they're hoping to accomplish here in the state, and hoping to have a lot more protests coming up into the next year. In Hartford, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.